Paris, London, Berlin, Frankfurt. Let's see what else. Vienna, Rome, Sicily. We're all over the place.
So you're a very worldly person for someone from Utah.
I like to think so.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's cool. And I've been to a bunch of places in the U.S. I went to Boston like 2 weeks ago. That was pretty fun.
Really?
Yeah. Been to California a million times. Arizona,
What's your favorite place?
My favorite place is probably Amsterdam.
Amsterdam?
Yeah,
Are you a marijuana fan?
I definitely smoked when I was there, that's for sure.
Or a prostitution fan? Those are the two reasons,
yeah,
right?
The red light district, there you go. Now they got a million like cool museums and like
Canals?
yeah, the canals and stuff. They got a bunch of like boat rides and like ride the ferry up and down the canal.
Yeah.
The architecture there is super cool. There's a bunch of modern like shard-looking buildings. Then there's a bunch of like really old, like those narrow houses that just stack together.
And you can get away without speaking Dutch.
Yes, sir. Yeah. Yeah.
Not so in some of these other countries.
No. Yeah, they're very English speaking, so it's pretty easy.
Yeah, the French definitely do not like speaking English.
No, they don't.
Yeah. Right. Where do you see yourself in 5 years? I mean, you talked a little bit about that. You said grad school and stuff like that, but...
So let's see. So 5 years. I should have my bachelor's degree in 2.5.
Yeah.
And then...
That's quick. That's a fast track right there.
Yep.
I'm guessing you did a lot of pre-preparation in high school?
Yes, I did the
AP classes?
I did the IB program, if you've heard of it.
All right.
So I'm kind of a little ahead. So I should have my bachelor's then, and then in 5 years I should be in the middle of getting a doctorate, like a PhD. And if I'm not doing that, then I honestly couldn't tell you. I have no idea.
You're a very prepared person.
Yeah, sure.
You've made a lot of preparations that a lot of young people don't do.
I like to think I have, yeah. I look to the future a lot. I like to, work now to make life easier later. I'm not always the best at that, but, I try.
Because it's so easy to fall off of the track.
Exactly.
If you don't make these preparations, you're 30 years old. If I was 30 years old and I tried to do what you do, it'd be very, very hard.
Yeah, and especially like once you fall off of the rails, like it's a lot harder to get back on. It's a lot harder to get
that's
back
what I'm
on
saying.
track.
Yeah.
So to me, it's worth the effort of just staying on and doing what I need to do now, so that I don't have to work harder later.
So you'll have an easy life later on.
That's the goal.
So what do you see yourself buying a house? You see yourself renting a house?
Let's see, in 5 years?
Yeah, 5 years.
5 years. 5 years, I hope I still live here, so probably still renting.
Renting?
Yeah.
Marriage? Children?
5 years. I could be married in 5 years, I guess. Hopefully not, though. Maybe 7 or 8 more years. Marriage, family, buying a house, settling down somewhere. I think that's a little later than most people think, but yeah, when I'm 27, I think I'll be good to be done with everything.
Let me ask you this. How important is it to be married or to have someone? Let's just say to have someone.
Okay, to have someone. I think it's pretty important. If you're talking like in a relationship, I think it varies from person to person. Like I know people that are so codependent, like they couldn't survive without having a significant other. But I know people that are the opposite. They're very independent. They don't like need somebody to lean on and don't care to have.
Which
that.
one do you consider yourself to be?
I'm closer to the second one. I think I'm more independent.
You're more independent?
Yeah.
So you don't need a girl to keep you grounded?
I don't think so, no. Like, I definitely like to have a girlfriend. I'm not going to complain about that. I think I'd be a fine boyfriend. But, yeah, it's not something that I, need or, actively search for,
What's dating been for, you in New York?
I haven't really tried it. I was on Tinder for a little while when I first got here in August, just kind of see what it was like. But most of the people that I talked to are, paranoid about the pandemic and stuff. And to me, it just wasn't worth the effort to go through it all, and whatever. So it's hard to get to know somebody from 6
Hopefully somebody will watch this video right here and be like, that guy's cool.
Hit me up.
That guy is cool. Let me reach out to him.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely. So, how are the women at NYU?
Oh man, there's a lot of hot girls here, dude.
Yeah?
There's a lot of hot girls. There's also a lot of not hot girls here. Yeah, you can find, super cool girls.
Are they snobs?
I don't think, for the most part, they're not snobs. I think you can tell a lot of them if you're like on daddy's money kind of thing, But I don't think a lot of them.
But they're not arrogant about it?
Yeah. They're not snobbish about it.
That's the important thing, right?
Yeah, exactly. No, as a school, like NYU is super liberal, and the girls, reflect that. So that's kind of the biggest thing I've noticed, especially being from Utah, like one of the most conservative states. Something I've noticed, but. No, not too bad. Not too bad at NYU.
How have you coped with this liberalism?
Great question.
I mean, have they changed? Has New York changed you in any way?
Yeah, so the city itself, I don't think it's changed me too much. I think NYU probably has, because like a lot of my classes are focused on like liberal studies type stuff.
Hopefully, when you walk away from those studies, you'll become a liberal, right?
Yeah, right.
That's the idea, isn't
that's
it?
their hope, yeah. A little liberal indoctrination kind of thing going on. Like I recognize that, and I know how to like split my beliefs. What I believe and what people
Using
are
your
telling
common
me.
sense.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, you gotta have your own beliefs, right? You can't just, accept other people's.
Yeah, I don't want to just be following blindly what college tells me, so I talk to other people, get other inputs, do my own research, that kind of stuff. My goal is to not be indoctrinated into like a liberal kind of thing, like you said.
And it's also important to sort of find common ground as well, which is what I'm trying to do with these videos, is to sort of, because liberals, conservative, everybody's got something in common, right?
Yeah.
So I think by watching this video, maybe people can sort of see people for who they are and say, okay, he's a conservative, but I kind of see, that I agree with other things that he's thinking or that he's doing.
I like that.
It's not just about climate change and guns and whatever they're talking about. There's so many other things that people can connect on a whole other level.
I like to think I'm like an open-minded person, try and find common ground with people, listen to their ideas if they'll listen to mine, but sometimes it's hard. There's a lot of people that just my way or the highway kind of attitude,
Yeah, they're too stubborn.
Yeah, exactly. If you don't believe the same thing as them, you're wrong. And I go, okay. Not even worth arguing with those people.
What kind of videos do you watch?
I don't know. Let's see. Usually like vlog type stuff. I used to watch like Casey Neistat. He had like that boosted board in New York City, Mostly just because I like to see the city, and he wasn't wherever doing that kind of stuff. But yeah, I'd say mostly like vlog content kind of stuff.
Are you a content creator yourself?
No.
What's stopping you? You're just not interested?
No, there's a couple things, I guess. I put like minimal thought into it. I don't think I have enough good original ideas to put on the internet. And starting with like zero following, I think it's hard to build up. And I don't think I have enough original ideas or like the drive to try and build a following to a point where like I can make the content I want with the following that I desire.
What were you doing? Actually, how did you spend your lockdown? How long was Utah? Were you in Utah when the lockdown started?
I wasn't. So
you were here?
Utah was the wild, wild west. They didn't have a mask mandate until like 2 weeks ago.
Really?
Yeah, like this was business as normal in Utah. I actually did door-to-door sales all summer.
Door-to-door sales?
Yeah.
In Utah?
In Colorado.
In Colorado? Okay.
So while everybody was locked inside their house, I was knocking on their doors trying to sell them stuff.
So you were still doing business as usual for you?
Yes, sir. Yeah.
What was that experience like? Door-to-door sales, like in the middle of a pandemic.
It was really interesting.
I would imagine your parents would have been a bit worried.
My parents didn't super care. They just did the usual parent stuff. Be careful, don't be stupid, kind of thing.
Yeah.
I knocked on 200 people's door a day.
Yeah.
And I'd have the people answer the door and immediately take 12 steps into their house to avoid me because like, you shouldn't be out here, it's a pandemic, you know, blah, blah, blah. And I have people come up and they stand right next to me because they don't care.
Yeah.
So, yeah, Colorado is interesting because you find those little enclaves where people would just freak out at you, like, why are you outside? But for the most part, people were really cool about it. Like, it's not something I even thought about most days. Except for having like a mask on my face in the Colorado heat all summer. But it is pretty interesting for sure.
Definitely a very interesting way to spend a lockdown.
Yeah.
What motivates you in life?
Man, I know this is a terrible answer, but money. Like, I just want to be financially stable. Like, I don't have to worry about finances. I don't have to worry about